Now, Kenya's producers will, for the first time, they'll be able to acquire patents for commodities that are unique to their geographical regions once a bill that's currently in the hands of the Attorney General is enacted. Earlier on, I spoke to Professor James Otieno-Odek, the MD of the Kenya Industrial Property Institute, about this Geographical Indications Bill.
The Geographical Indications Bill is a bill that is presently before the Attorney General for onward transmission to the Kenyan National Assembly, the Kenyan Parliament, to be enacted into law. The basic objective of the Geographical Indications Bill is to provide a system whereby unique products coming from distinct geographical areas in Kenya could be registered and granted protection status. There are several advantages that will come out of the passage of the Geographical Indications Bill. One of the advantages is that the Kenyan farmers and agricultural producers shall be provided with a legal framework through which they can protect their unique and distinct products. It is expected that through this registration and protection system, we shall have the opportunity to diversify Kenya's agricultural products and to give them a unique, identifiable market access and market niche in both the local and global markets. This is just one but of the advantages that will accrue from the passage of the Geographical Indications Bill.
Now, specialized patents essentially is what smaller traders are looking for, but some people would argue that it's one thing to have a patent and to have your intellectual property protected. It's another thing to market your goods internationally and even within the Kenyan market. And essentially, if you're trying to push up volumes for sales, it's a marketing function. How is this GI bill going to aid in that?
Protection is purely a legal system and registration is a legal system, but the important thing is to have the marketing arm. Now, the government of Kenya has established another parastatal state corporation known as the Brand Kenya Board. Now, the Brand Kenya Board is charged with the responsibility of marketing Kenya. And one of the things the Brand Kenya Board does is to be able to market and showcase unique Kenyan products. And some of these products will be the products registered under the Geographical Indications Bill or Act when it comes into force. Some of the unique Kenyan coffee, Kenyan tea products will be marketed under this. In addition, the marketing shall be done through the Coffee Board of Kenya, which has the responsibility to market Kenyan coffee. The Tea Board of Kenya also has a responsibility to market the Kenyan tea. So we have various other state corporations, state agencies that have the responsibility to do the marketing of the unique products and also the marketing of Kenya as a country in general.
All right, I'm glad you mentioned the issue of coffee and the involvement of the Kenya Coffee Board, which has looked to this bill to try to boost the profile of coffee within Kenya, whereas other agricultural products have quite a high retail value in Kenya and internationally. Coffee has struggled to gain a foothold. How is this bill or act, when it's passed, going to enhance the profile of coffee and the sales of coffee?
Now, presently, my organization, the Kenya Industrial Property Institute, has been closely working with the Coffee Board of Kenya to be able to package and brand the unique coffee of Kenya to be able to access the international markets. We've come up with the Coffee Board of Kenya with a distinct branding strategy. There are certain different geographical areas in Kenya that produce distinct coffee brands and coffee blends. So the marketing is done. We are now trying to come up with different logos, different unique characteristics and motto for branding or selling the different coffees from the different geographical areas of this country. For instance, we have unique coffee coming from a region in Kenya known as Kirinyaga. So we are now developing a Kirinyaga coffee blend. We are also in the process of developing Othaya coffee blend and Mount Kenya coffee blend. These are different, distinct coffee with different aroma, different characteristics, and the Coffee Board of Kenya is actually in the process of coming up with the different marketing strategy for the different unique coffees based on the distinct geographical territories.
Interestingly, you're also being solicited by the tea board. They have an interest in patenting some of their products, and yet tea is one of your foremost exports, and Kenya is a tea drinking nation. One wouldn't think that tea needs to raise its profile. Are we talking about niche teas in this particular instance?
Within Kenya, tea is grown in different geographical territories, and each of these territories, because of the soil and the acidity of the soil in different areas and the rainfall in different areas, they have different aroma. For example, I have here with me Kericho tea, Kericho Gold. This is from a region in Kenya known as Kericho, and the tea here is very distinct, different aroma, different taste. In the Mount Kenya region also, we do have tea growing there, but the tea from Mount Kenya also has got a different aroma and a different taste. And the Tea Board of Kenya is identifying these unique aroma, these unique coffee teas based on their different geographical territories and coming up with a branding and a strategy to market the distinctiveness of each of these products. True, as you have mentioned, Kenya is well known for tea, but we want to go a niche higher and get more value addition and sell our unique tea depending on the geographical territory where the tea is coming from.
Now, for producers, the most important thing ultimately, as I said, is to push up the volumes to get the sales. And this now takes us to the issue of pricing. How will this GI legislation, once it's enacted, how's that going to influence pricing mechanisms? Because a lot of complaints from smaller traders in Kenya is that they produce the goods, but they can't influence the price.
The pricing of tea and coffee in Kenya is determined by various factors. In most cases, the tea and the coffee is sold in auction at the port of Mombasa, where we have the tea auction and the coffee auction, and there are middlemen there. So today, the Kenya government is restructuring the system of selling tea and coffee. And once that restructuring has been done, the middlemen who get most of the prices would be able to be phased out, and the farmers will be able to sell directly their tea or coffee to the coffee auction. And the profits or the income generated by the middlemen will be able to be cascaded down to the farmers. Secondly, when we do the GI, the geographical indications, and we brand and blend the Kenyan tea or the Kenyan coffee into a unique product, we are expecting the prices will also increase internationally. And once the prices go internationally, we do expect that the farmers will be able to get a better price at the grassroots level for their products. So there will be need later, as the system gets a foothold, for Kenya to negotiate with leading supermarket chains internationally and the leading buyers, so that the pricing structure should be able to reflect that the farmers who are growing this crop should be able to get a better price for their product.
And a final question to you, Mr. Otieno-Odek, is the fact that on the 1st of July is the inception of the common market of the East African community, and within that will be some sort of a duty-free, free flow of goods amongst the 5 member states. Now we're talking about patenting Kenyan coffee, variants of Kenyan tea, we're talking about grape juice, we're talking about nuts, a lot of produce that's also produced in neighboring countries. Uganda is renowned in terms of its blend of coffee. So you'll be going head on within a common market. Is that in any way going to impact on the work that you're trying to do?
We presently trading as the East African Customs Union. When we go into the common market, we are in the process of harmonizing our laws, our patent laws, our trademark laws. So this harmonization will be able to provide a common foothold. Within the common market, there'll be free movement of goods. And what we are trying to negotiate is to ensure that the trademarks already registered in Kenya, the patents already registered in Kenya, have validity within the other 5 partner states. We do not expect that the trademark and the patent system will be a stumbling block for the free movement of goods. On this same issue, I'd like to add that the Kenyan businessmen, the private sector, has already gone forward and registered some of our trademarks and patents within the other partner states. Kenyan traders have been able to register their trademarks in Uganda, they have registered their trademarks in Tanzania, and vice versa. Ugandan traders have been able to register their leading trademarks in the Kenyan IP office and so forth. So we do not expect the IP system to operate as a stumbling block, but it will be able to facilitate. Yes, there are certain areas that we need to address, but we are in the process of discussing how to harmonize, and how to remove any stumbling block that the IP system might generate in the face of the advent of the common market.